Hello everyone, welcome back. Kevin with Survivalist Boards. Well guys and gals, the seeds have been dried and now it is time to store them. Some of you are wondering, well Kevin, how did you dry your seeds? So they're nice and dry, kind of stuck together. And I put them inside this cookie sheet right here, this pie pan or whatever you want to call it. Put a little towel under the seeds, put the seeds in there. Then I put the seeds in the back of my SUV. I left them there for about a week. So that one right there, that was cut whenever we were cutting the squash open. So they were in the back of the SUV. I was driving back and forth to work with them in the back of the car, back of the SUV. And that's how I dried them. Whenever I parked my car for work, cracked the windows a little bit, so let a little bit of crosswind come through. So here we are in the middle of winter, or here at fall. It's not quite winter yet. Early December 2018. So that seed right there, how it's not very plump, but it does have something in it. So we're going to go ahead and give it the benefit of the doubt that it may germinate. That one right there does not have anything in it, so we're going to cull that one. Just going through here. Anyway. So I drove around with the seeds in the back of the SUV for a week or so, let them dry. And some of y'all are going to say, well, Kevin, you're supposed to let them seeds dry to a certain percentage of moisture in them. Okay. And how do you measure it? Unless you've got some type of device to measure the seed moisture, it's not enough of a concern to worry about. People have been harvesting seeds for thousands of thousands. It's estimated that humans developed agriculture somewhere around 10,000 years ago, or 10,000 BC. So we're talking 12,000 years ago. Some Egyptian 5,000 years ago did not have a piece of equipment to measure the seed moisture. Not that I know of. Maybe aliens. But anyway. So the seeds have been dried in the back of an SUV for about a week. Now comes the storage. And some of my videos, I talk about storing my seeds in the deep freezer. There was a comment, I apologize if I do not remember the commenter's name. She asked, it was a female name, she asked that, Kevin, why do you have to store your seeds in a freezer? No, you do not have to store your seeds in a freezer, but it greatly helps prolong the seed life. If you read up on the Seed Vault, the Global Seed Vault, their seeds are in a cave under the permafrost, stored like what, -20, -30 or something, -10. And some of the seeds, the way they store them is like in a specialized Mylar bag. I don't know if they use oxygen absorbers or not. And some of their seeds are estimated to will survive thousands of years when stored properly. So that's what we're doing. We're kind of simulating the way that the Global Seed Vault stores their seeds, but without all the fancy science stuff. So we're just going to take our seeds. I recommend using a heavy freezer grade Ziploc bag, and all we're going to do is we're going to take those seeds, we're going to put them in there. Now remember, just 10 of these, just 10, 15 of these would provide more squash than a family could eat during the course of a summer. So every handful that we put in there hopefully would be enough to feed a family during the course of a summer. Long-term survival situation, grid down, where we don't have a deep freezer. The seeds are stored in a cool, dry location where they do not get excessively hot, not in a shed or anything. Store them in a house or something. All right, that's not going to have anything in it. What we're going to do, we're going to take these seeds, put them inside this freezer grade, or it's advertised as freezer bag, freezer Ziploc bag, and we're going to write the type of seed on it. Whenever I get it back inside, I'm going to write the type of seed on it, which I already know this is a member of the melon family. It's either going to be squash. Just looking at it, we know it's either going to be squash or zucchini. There we go, guys. All that came out of one squash. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to get as much of the air out of the bag as we can. Something like that. And if you wanted to double seal it, then take that and put it into another Ziploc bag. The enemy to seeds is moisture and high temperatures and oxygen. So we try to get as much air out as we can. We're going to store it in the freezer at -10 degrees. That's what my deep freezer set at, -10. We've got them inside now. The Ziploc bag is kind of porous, and eventually air will seep through the Ziploc, but some people may want to double Ziploc theirs. But from my experience, y'all remember a few years ago, well, last year in 2017, we planted seeds that had been stored inside of a paper bag. They were bought at a store May 2007 in their factory package. just like they came out of the store, a little cardboard, not cardboard, just a paper package. Been stored in the freezer for 10 years. 10 years. Without the seeds being stored inside of a plastic freezer bag. Just inside of the paper bag that came from the store. They germinated, and they had a very good germination rate 10 years later. All right, guys and gals, so now these seeds have been harvested and ready to put in the freezer. And I tell you what, we're going to plant some of these in 2019. I'm going to take some of these seeds, and we're going to plant them in 2019, and we're going to go grow squash, and we're going to save the seeds again. But this will be a rather interesting project because the parent plant, the seeds for the parent plant were bought in May 2007, stored in the freezer for 10 years, planted in spring of 2017. They were a volunteer crop, or some people call them a Lazarus, because I didn't save the seeds. The area was bush hogged. Then the seeds came back. One plant came back in 2018 on its own without having to be replanted, and I saved the seeds from that plant to make sure to carry on the experiment. All right, guys and gals, this will be an interesting experiment for 2019, and I will talk to y'all later.